Hi everyone, this is Meghna. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. We have Sakshi today as our guest, a wonderful entrepreneur, social entrepreneur, and she runs an organization called Anubhuti. She is the founder and director. We'll hear more about Anubhuti from Sakshi herself. So, hi Sakshi, how are you doing today?
Hi, Meghna. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm doing good. Thank you for calling me at this platform.
My pleasure. I'm very excited to hear your story and also spread the work that you're doing to all the teenagers in our platform. So, before any further ado, let's get into the podcast. So, why don't you tell our audience a bit about your backstory and also what led you to build Anubhuti, and also a bit of introduction about Anubhuti also.
Yeah, thank you. So my journey started in a small town, Jalalabad. I did my primary and secondary education from there. Uh, my father was very aware and educated to support the girl child education, and in my area, there is a mindset to not open up the doors for the girl child to get quality education. So he was very confident and very supportive to send us to get higher education. So we came to Delhi. I did my graduation and masters from Miranda House, Delhi University. And after that, one incident happened. I saw two children eating noodles from dustbin, जो कि मैंने ही फेंका था. And that was a moment that I realized कि जो चीज़ मेरे खाने लायक नहीं है and someone else's उसके लिए वो privilege है, right? And the second question came to my mind that a child is not able to differentiate what to eat, what not to eat. Is there education or hunger? I started working with these children, spending time with them, understanding their needs. तो पता चला ये ऐसे बच्चे हैं जो कभी स्कूल नहीं गए. We call them out of school and dropout children. And that term we searched on Google, and that time this is very new to me. And what was the shocking thing is that it's not one or two child, it's around 47 million children who are not part of formal education system. And that shook me. And then I realized that I really wanted to work with them. But I was not aware कि मुझे कैसे काम करना है, क्या करना है. And I was not having that background also, because my background was in science. uh, I was doing my BSc in botany that time. And then I started doing my master so that I build my theoretical knowledge, because I have been working on ground with children and getting other exposure. I joined some organization as a volunteer intern, and I did my internship from different organization, where then I somebody told me that if you want to work in the education sector, you should know what how education sector work, or what is the need of a child, or how you can support to that child. That's why I searched for a good programs. And somebody referred me this Gandhi fellowship, and I did a Gandhi fellowship from a tribal belt. It's a Chikaldhara block in Maharashtra. And where I got to know the education meaning, what is the education meaning for the tribal community, and how I can contribute in this process, or of a child's learning, right? And the journey started from there. I got a very good exposure of the grassroots level. Then I searched, I wanted to know how I can bring the systemic level change, how I can support the existing government system. And I joined Chief Minister Good Governance Associate Program to know the policy implementation and formation process, so that I contribute in a manner that I can sustain my impact. I worked there, I understood the process, system, government, how government is supporting all children. But somewhere in the back, my mind is always said back to the children, work with them, support them. And when you, and this is my passion also, to work with children. And Then I left the job and I started working directly in 2019. I full time working with Anubhuti. Before that, we registered this organization in 2016. But we are doing a volunteering program there. We are hiring some volunteers who are creating a 2 hour, 3 hour fun spaces for the children, but not like a proper program where we are tracking the growth of the child, or where we are creating some milestone to achieve it, right? It's just a fun space after school program. But 2019 we joined some good organization as an incubation, or and incubity, and we become a part of ISP, Indian School of Business incubation, and we joined TFIX, Teach for India incubation. And we built this, we designed a program, the Bridge Fellowship, in collaboration of government of Haryana, because inside me this always comes that Sakshi can't be reached 47 million children alone. We need people, we need a system with us so that I can reach every child, right? Um so then we designed this program and we started working with the rural communities. And हमेशा से ही दिमाग में था कि we will work with the rural youth. Why rural youth? Because I have been part of fellowship program, and we highly believe that if you give your 2 years in a community, change is definitely there, right? सो एक फेलोशिप में बिलीव था, दूसरा मेरे पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस से आई गॉट टू नो दैट every good fellowship is hiring a very cream youth from the reputed college. मेरा गांव का युवा वहीं का वहीं है, राइट? my rural youth is there only, they don't have opportunity, and there should be a space जहाँ पर they are able to envision their future, right? If you ask me, in my 12th or in my BSc, I was not able to envision my future and my community's future. But now I can think in a direction, how can I support me and others and the community, right? So that's why this is a we planned a fellowship model, designed a fellowship model that for the rural youth, rural context people, so that they build their knowledge, skill, mindset, and support the out of school and dropout children. So we hire them, we train them, we they identify out of school and dropout children in their community, and then become a role model while working with the community and the children. So this is what we do. We also work with teachers as our second program is educell, education with socio emotional learning, where we sensitize teachers so that they can create a safe space in the government school. A child uh, do not drop out again from the formal education system. So currently we are working in two states, Haryana and UP. In Haryana, we are working in three districts: Gurgaon, Mewat, and Faridabad. And in UP, we are working in two districts: Ghaziabad and Shahjahanpur.
Okay, okay. I mean, that's a lot of information, and thank you so much. It was a great introduction, and I do have a lot of questions. I kept noting down certain points. So my next question is, say if I'm from a rural area and I'm a dropout. So what is the entire process? How does Anubhuti help me in becoming, as you mentioned, a role model or someone? Do you help me get back into the education system, or do you provide me with some sort of educational resources? So how does that entire process work?
Okay, so first of all, we hired the local youth from the same community where Meghna is coming, right? So that Meghna have trust to on the child, and child also have a trust to Meghna that this is she is the person who is living around me. She will be my guide. She will be my coach, right? So Meghna start. doing survey in her community. She identifies some out of school and dropout children, and she set up a classroom in a government school. She do a 1 year it's a 1 year program where she build her capabilities, her skills, and also helping children to learn build their new fundamental foundational numeracy and literacy. And we also integrate socio emotional learning in the classroom, so that child having the academic excellence plus socially emotionally awareness, right? And he or she can sustain or regulate their emotions very well in with the family and the friends or self, right? So this is the process that we follow, where they have children will be having a age appropriate learning level, and at the end of the year we connect them back to school in the same school where they are setting up their classroom. So we enroll them to the mainstream curriculum of formal education, and we track that child till 5 years, जब तक कि वो बच्चा 12th में नहीं चला जाता. We believe that if a child is in 12th class, then he will get the support and everything, and he will pass and get the education further, right? So we support them or track them till 5 years.
Okay, okay. And right now, what is the age group of all the students that you have been mentoring or training or getting them back to the system? So, what is the average age group of all the students?
So we have multi-grade, multi-level classroom. So we have 6 to 14 years children who are dropping out or uh, who are dropouts, right, or out of school. And for youth, we have 21 to 35 years old youth.
Okay. So, the youth, you train the youth to help the students as well,
Yes,
the 6 to
yes,
14. Okay, okay. So essentially, you have three different verticals. Three different verticals where one is the students, the youth, and then teachers, right? So you're training all of them and building a holistic system
yes,
there.
yes.
Okay,
And community
okay, got it.
also, because our fellow directly work with the community, and bringing and mitigating that gap between the school education system and the community.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, got it. And throughout your entire experience, what do you think are the major reasons for the students dropping out of school, and what is stopping them from going back to the school system again?
So Meghna, I would say that what my experience is, we did this thing, we did our research with 2000 parents and 4000 children to identify the root causes of this problem. And we found that unemployment, migration, low income, these are the secondary reasons, right? The primary reason is the child is not able to think about himself or herself, because he is not in that position right now, right? But the parents and the teachers are also not able to envision their child's future. So lack of envisioning is the primary issue, because everyone having a government school, everything is free till primary or secondary, right? So why they are not sending their child, right? So जितना मेरा एक्सपीरियंस कहता है वो ये कहता है कि अगर किसी के लिए रोटी इज इम्पोर्टेंट, तो वो रोटी के लिए पहले मतलब अपने आप को आगे रखेगा, ना कि एजुकेशन के लिए. बट हाउ
Hmm.
हाउ दे आर डूइंग दिस बैलेंस टुगेदर, राइट? तो वो इन्विजन करना अभी तक नहीं है. जिस कम्युनिटी के साथ हम काम करते हैं, वी वर्क विद सपेरा कम्युनिटी, वी वर्क विद द बंजारा कम्युनिटी, वी वर्क अर्बन स्लम कम्युनिटीज, राइट? सो ये एक मेजर रीजन है हमारे लिए अभी तक जो हम फाइंड आउट कर पाए हैं.
Hmm, hmm. Makes sense. I mean, when the student is not able to visualize themselves being someone, say, working in a particular job or having the lack of exposure to what they can do in the future,
Yeah.
there's a high chance that they might drop out. Very interesting insight. So, taking a step back into your journey, you have said you were part of a lot of fellowship programs, and then you were also incubated in a couple of places. So, can you give a brief overview of what these fellowships are? Say you mentioned Gandhi Fellowship, then you mentioned TFI incubation. So, just in two, three lines, each what does each fellowship entail, and what is the eligibility or anything? So, anyone who's viewing this podcast can gain some sort of insight as to, okay, there's this fellowship, and this is what I can go for. So, two, three lines about each of the things that you have done.
So for fellowship, if I talk about the fellowship model, then I would say if you want to work with the community and want to know the how our culture and how our local um, thoughts are impacting education, or what is the role of the local stakeholder, then you join Gandhi Fellowship. That is your place, because you work with school education system, you work with panchayat, you work with health sector, right? You work with other stakeholder who are working at the grassroots level. So if you wanted to get a pure exposure of community, you join Gandhi Fellowship. If you are interested in teaching and you have passion working with the children, then you apply for the Teach for India fellowship, because they help you to envision how a educator work as a leader, right? So you have that place to go. And if I talk about the incubation programs, so then if you wanted to run your fellowship, then you can apply for TFIX incubation program, where they help entrepreneurs who are in the rural areas and wanted to run their fellowships in rural context. So that is the one option. The second option is ISB. ISB is a very good platform where you are nurturing your professional skills. You know financing, you know would know how to build your organization, the culture in the organization, where you how you can improve your model, right? You can learn all these things from there. Also, if you want to work for your own community in Haryana or in UP, you can join the Bridge Fellowship from of Anubhuti. Yes, definitely, if you want to contribute in your area.
Okay, awesome. Uh, I think you were also part of Circle
Yes,
Incubation, if I'm not wrong.
yes, I'm building a
Okay,
school.
can you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Huh.
okay. Can you elaborate a bit about Circle Incubation and the school that you're currently building?
Yes. So I realized that after going back to my community after 12 years, and I realized the community is same. Nothing has changed. My classroom is the same. The black walls, teachers are not there. If there is teacher, they are not teaching except doing other work, right? Uh, they are engaged in another interest area. They have no passion to contribute their own school, right? So I was seeing it and I thought that if I'm doing something and are not able to change my community, it's a big question on my capabilities, right? And for me it's very important to bring a high quality in my community, right? So I'm going back to my community and building this community focused school, uh, where the child is having a high quality academics and having a socio emotional awareness around themselves, or uh, this is the idea. And our core is 3 E's, where we are bringing expression, exposure and experiment on one place, and child is working all these three areas. So we just started. Why this community? Because in the radius of 10 to 15 kilometer, there is no any English medium high quality school. 41% is female literacy rate. So this is why we are building this school. And the focus is make a center of excellence so that we can replicate our impact to the other low income or government school where people are not having that resources and expertise. So this school would be a exemplar for the other schools so that they can come and learn from it. So we are starting with K1, K2, and grade 1, and every year we are adding one class in this. We just finished our pilot in actually going to be finished in 1st April by 1st April. So we completed our pilot. Here they will if you join the circle incubation program, they will offer their knowledge, their skills, their resources to how you can build a high quality school.
Okay, awesome. Circle was definitely interesting. I usually follow them. I actively follow them on LinkedIn and I look at their website and everything. But congratulations on the pilot of on finishing the pilot program, or I think you're about to finish it. So you're essentially building a school for kids who have dropped out, right? And right now you have K1, K2, and then probably you'll start grade one also,
Yes.
right? Okay, okay. So all right. So it will be an alternative school. Can we call it as an alternative school for rural youth who want a holistic development of sorts?
You can, but my focus is to, so this is not for like I'm running a business or I'm running a school where children are coming and paying the fees and they are getting education.
Hmm.
The objective is to showcase a best practice there. It's a one of the place where you can see the best teaching practices and you can get exposure of how we are creating a local and global teachers fusion, right? So this is what
Right.
we wanted to show people that I always hear government school teacher that children who are coming from low economic background, they are not having a supporting parents. तो टीचर्स क्या करेगा? 8 घंटा 7 घंटा अगर वो स्कूल में रहता है, टीचर कुछ नहीं कर सकता क्योंकि बाकी का 10-12 घंटा वो अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ रहता है, राइट? सो दिस ऑलवेज क्वेश्चन मी कि 7-8 घंटे में क्यों नहीं हो सकता कुछ, राइट? क्यों नहीं चेंज आ सकता? एंड आई वांटेड टू शो देम दैट हो सकता है चेंज इफ यू गिव फुल अटेंशन और फुल केयर और क्रिएटिंग सम गुड एग्जाम्पल और टेक्निक्स, और आप ऐसा माहौल बनाइए जहाँ पे बच्चा बच्चा कनेक्ट होके पढ़े, ना कि जस्ट रट्टाफिकेशन करे. So this is a school where you are learning maths with games, and you are learning language with SCL, right? It's a very open place वहाँ जहाँ पर बच्चे के जो भी टेक्निक्स है, टीचिंग टेक्निक्स है, वो बच्चे के अकॉर्डिंग है, ना कि टीचर सेंट्रिक है, राइट? इट्स ऑलवेज चाइल्ड इन द सेंटर. सो इस तरीके का अभी हम स्कूल बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं.
Awesome. So right now, the physical, do you have a physical campus?
Yes, so we had just got a land. We have one
Okay.
acre land, and we will be starting our construction uh, by end of the April. Or we are looking for good teachers who wanted to reinvent education. If you know some people, some youth who wanted to, who just love teaching and wanted to experiment some with new teacher techniques, just apply for the job. uh, you can find the details on our website or our pages. Yes.
Definitely. I'll also spread the word. But coming to the aspect of, say, recruiting teachers or having volunteers, and also I think you've mentioned something about the Bridge
Yes.
Fellowship. So, can you elaborate more on Bridge Fellowship, the duration, what exactly it is, and who is it for, and what impact are we creating at the end? What impact is a fellow creating at the end of the fellowship?
Okay, so it's a 2 year commitment where the fellow work with self, children, and the community. So there are a lot of stories where fellows are bringing children back to school. We have around 94% mainstreaming rate, and our retention rate is 96%. And if we talk about the impact on community, we have opened up 5 to 6 schools in New Mebad, where they were closed since a long time, and we just worked with the local community, inspired them, and they come together and they open up the place for the other children. So there were students on the register, but they are not coming to the school, right? So we now the enrollment has increased from 30 children to 150 children, right? So it's a huge impact where we are bringing child to the school system. And why we want to do this? Because we have studied National Crime Bureau report where they are saying that if a child is not going to school, they are engaged in anti-social activity, child labor, or low income, right? Somewhere. So we wanted to make them engage in a very productive time where they can just learn and explore more what they can do in the life, right?
Right, got it. So, fellow comes in for 2 years. They interact with the local community, the kids,
Yeah.
and then okay, and
So our
got it,
model
got it.
is we work in a 3C model where fellow teach these children, then they do some
Mm-hmm.
intervention with the local community. They have a curriculum
Okay.
on place. Also, they work on their own self. They do the SWOT analysis and they make a growth
Hmm.
plan for self. And whole year they work on it. At the end of the year, they assess where they are now. They started where were they, and where are they now? Yes.
Okay,
Mm.
got it, got it. Also, I've been very curious about this question for a long time, to a lot of social organizations and to a lot of social entrepreneurs. So, how does a social organization make money, or if they need some sort of funds, which organizations or which stakeholders do they approach to receive that funding to run your operations? But I'm assuming at the end of the day, say to build your physical campus and probably to pay your teachers or to have your maintenance expenses, you would need some sort of money. So where do you get that funding from?
So when you work in the social sector, you don't make money, right? You just make people around you. So in Anubhuti, what I have learned, I invested in people. I have community of people who are coming together, who are helping me to reach more children. So it's all about how you are bringing and how you are sharing your vision with the other person. And when you work in non-profit sector, it's always a question, right? When you and you send 100 people proposal, then one person respond on it, right? So it's a very difficult journey. And the second is, but there are people who highly believe in educational equity, and they wanted to build our rural India better place for the children. So there are people who come together and help us through their expertise. So it's not always about money, it's about how people can contribute in a different manner. There are people in Anubhuti who are not giving the money, they are giving their expertise, right? Some of the CA are our good friends, some of the uh, consultants are our good friends who are building our operation strategy, communication strategies, right? So it's not always about the money, it's about the people who are building your organization and who are working for the shared vision, I think.
Okay, okay. But that definitely makes sense. But say again, you're building a physical campus, so that funding do you receive from the government or through approaching the CSR wings of corporate companies? So how do you get that money to invest in your physical campus or to run your daily maintenance or operational expenses?
So we share our vision, as I shared earlier. We share our vision with the people around it. Some of them are CSR, some of them are local people. If I talk about the school, everything is built by the local people, right? And
Okay.
so they come together, they build your help you out in the situation. And when they are seeing that people are doing a good work, right, my teacher is going into the community and teaching there, and then they realize ki why she is doing it, right, she is not getting anything, and then they support कि I will help you in this, जितना भी मैं कर सकता हूँ अपने लेवल पे, right.
Right, right. Makes sense. And is there any striking example? I'm sure the entire work that you're doing, you're creating an impact on a lot of people, on the community as a whole. But is there any striking example in your entire journey where you've transformed a student, say, who was a dropout, who wasn't doing really well, but you've transformed them and yeah, I can I can edit this out. No worries.
Okay, so can you repeat your question?
Yes, yes, yes. So my next question is basically that I'm sure you've done a lot of work and created a lot of impact on the community as a whole. But is there any striking example of a student that you have seen being transformed through Anubhuti, through the Bridge Fellowship? So is there any striking example or an individual that you remember?
Yes, there are a lot of example, Meghna, but I would share one example that is very close to my heart. One child, Manu, got her first classroom at the age of 13, and she was struggling a lot because her parents are not aware of education, and they are working somewhere else. Manu is taking care of her siblings, right, and she's not going to school, she's just doing her home chores and helping out her brother and sisters in studies, but she's not going to school. My fellow got to know about her, and she started communicating with the parents and the Manu, and asked Manu, do you want to go to school? And she said, yes, I really wanted to study, and I want to become a doctor. And we, my fellow spend, I think, 5 to 6 hours in the in her community, uh, and try to show some good stories in within same community, right, to the parents and to Manu, to inspire them, to make them realize that it can be possible if they come, they try to do it, right. And now Manu is in we got mainstreamed her in fifth class. Now she is in sixth class and top the class, and now she is doing so well, and we are hoping that soon we see her as a doctor, and we are very excited for her. And uh, this year I think she will be reaching to that a seventh or eighth grade. So she is doing such a wonderful job in her studies. This is because I have seen the very small changes and the struggle also in her journey, because she is at home, she was not able to read and write language, right, she was not able to do a simple arithmetic problem, right. So I have seen her struggling a lot in the studies, but also trying hard to achieve all the goals, right. So this is the story that I really make me inspired, the journey of Manu.
Got it. I mean, I can imagine. I've never faced that. I've never been in such situation, but I'm sure it would be very hard for someone who hasn't been to school or have dropped out and to go back to school, learn everything. Of course, it takes a lot of time
Yes, at
and
the
effort. And
age of 13, it's difficult. Yes.
yes, yes, yes. But kudos to your team for putting in the effort, believing in Manu, and getting her back to school. And my question to you is what, like, why social entrepreneurship or why Anubhuti? If why did you choose this path? I mean, I got a glimpse of your journey in the introduction, but why specifically this? Why not a corporate job, or why not a professor or some other role? Why create an impact on rural youth?
I don't know, but I never thought of being in a professional, or as a professor, or as a teacher, or as a consultant somewhere. But the journey started in a way that I felt very connected with the low income children, and I can feel the pain of coming such background, because I am also same similar kind of having a similar background. But I could able to do it because my father was there, right? So but there are people who don't have any support system. They don't have any resource person who can help them out. So this is the first thought. And the second is, initially when I was struggling a lot in raising fund, so then I somewhere got to know one person who said that you do a business and do something and earn money and then support the child, right? Or you start something where you can charge, ask people to give fees for it. And I thought in both options. First is, if I earn money, it will take time to impact people who are in need of support just now, right? I can't wait for 10 years and 5 years. Goodness करने की कोई उम्र थोड़ी ना होती है, right? तो फर्स्ट ऑप्शन पहले ही फेल हो गया. द सेकेंड ऑप्शन इज चार्जिंग द फीस टू द चाइल्ड. आई रियलाइज कि बच्चा अगर फीस दे पाता होता तो वो प्राइवेट स्कूल में होता, वो आउट ऑफ स्कूल या ड्रॉप आउट नहीं होता, राइट? और इफ आई एम चार्जिंग द मनी
Right.
टू द चाइल्ड, that is closing the doors of getting education, and they are not having that opportunity to access the quality education. So now my priority is how can I support them, right? So this is why we chose, or I chose Anubhuti, working for this sector, or this target audience.
Got it. Got it. Definitely. I think once you implement the money aspect, then it becomes a barrier for a lot of
Yes.
students to join or to receive education. And what was one of the biggest challenges that you faced throughout the entire journey?
uh, there are different challenges, Meghna. If I talk about, initially I don't know how to run an organization. In the initial phase of the organization, I was not aware where to go, where to ask help. I was doing and failing, and then doing, then failing, and doing, then failing. So it's a failure, lot of failures in the first 2 3 years. I think that make me realize that to build myself first. So I started joining a different organizations as a partner, as a learner, so that I can learn more and build Anubhuti. The second phase, then I realized how to mobilize the resources. So then I shared, it's not always about money, right? Ki someone is coming and giving the funding, but how you are mapping people also who can come and give their expertise and help you out in a situation, right? पैसे लेके भी वही काम हो रहा है, लेकिन अगर कोई आके पढ़ा रहा है 2 घंटे के लिए, 3 घंटे के लिए, तब भी वही काम हो रहा है, राइट? So how I can diversify the support system where people are come and giving their expertise, so that I can create a large community who are working towards a shared vision, right? So second challenge was that. But with the time you learn a lot, or failures help you to learn fast, actually. So in Anubhuti, I learned from my failures. I think current challenge, if I can share with you, that hiring a very like minded people who are working for the children. I found I interviewed so many people right now, and I see they wanted to do work in the non-profit organization, but they want money, right? And it's very difficult to match their expectation. So finding a right talent in a right sector is very difficult now, challenging too.
Right. Right. Definitely, I think with every failure, you learn something and then you try iterating your entire process and implementing it again. And what are your future plans for Anubhuti? What are you planning to do, say, in the next 5 years? What is your vision for the next 5 years?
Uh, we wanted to reach more and more people in the coming 5 years. We wanted to reach around 1 million children who are in need, and we are working in around 400 or 500 uh, 212 fellows, and we want to reach around 500 fellows now. So this is what, in a way, we want to impact numbers. But if I share my thoughts on the qualitative impact, that we want to create a sense of belongingness towards their community. This is the main purpose that I am carrying on, that every child, every youth feel for their own community and they give to their society back, right? This is my impact that I wanted to see in the coming time.
Got it. Got it. I love the way I can see the passion while you're talking. I love how you've structured your answers and everything. And finally, do you have any advice for teenagers and also aspiring social entrepreneurs?
आई थिंक पर्पस शुड बी वेरी क्लियर. if अगर आपके पास पर्पस नहीं है तो आप बिल्कुल ओपन माइंड होके एक्सप्लोर द पर्पस फर्स्ट, राइट? आई डोंट फाइंड, इन द इनिशियल टाइम आई वाज नॉट एबल टू थिंक दैट आई विल वर्क फॉर द चिल्ड्रन ओनली. आई वाज थिंकिंग दैट आई विल बिल्ड द कम्युनिटी. Like now my target audience is children, but uh, how could I do it? Because I keep exploring myself कि मुझे क्या चाहिए, मुझे क्या करना है, क्यों करना है, किस लिए करना है, right? So its purpose should be very clear. The thought, whatever you are doing, if you are doing a job, why you are doing that job, right? Will you love that job, or you need a money, that's why you are doing it? it's इसमें कोई गलत नहीं है कि अगर आप पैसे के लिए जॉब कर रहे हो, राइट? फाइनेंशियली स्टेबिलिटी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बट क्लैरिटी होना इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि हाँ मैं इसलिए कर रहा हूँ, राइट? सो यही मैं कहूँगी आजकल के यूथ के लिए कि जस्ट थिंक इन अ डायरेक्शन कि मैं जो कर रहा हूँ वो क्यों कर रहा हूँ, और कितना इससे किसी का बुरा तो नहीं हो रहा है, और इससे मैं किसी और के विजन को इम्पैक्ट तो नहीं कर रहा हूँ, राइट? तो वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है.
Right, right. Finding your purpose is very essential, definitely. But I'm sure it takes a lot of
Yes.
time to really figure out what do you like and where do you think you can put your skills. Yeah, but thank you so much, Sakshi. We're at the end of the podcast right now. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being here. And I absolutely loved the entire conversation. You're one of the very few social entrepreneurs that I've met who uh, really resonated with what I like also. I like the education sector. I like working with children. I've never done it properly until now, but I read a lot, so something that I'm interested in. But I love your passion and I hope the best for you. And can't wait to visit the physical campus sometime soon when it's finally built.
You are most
But yeah, thank you
welcome.
so much for being here.
Come and visit us.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Anything else that you'd like to tell to the audience or to me?
Just keep sharing good work. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And yeah, thank you.
Bye.
And we'll see everyone again in the next episode.